The ants have created super weapons from matches and toothpicks and are starting a big war. Who can survive in the Valley of Ants? Let's find out. A married couple comes to a forest clearing for a picnic. A woman is pregnant and suddenly goes into labor. The man immediately takes his beloved to the car, leaving a blanket with all sorts of delicacies in the clearing. There are many insects living in the forest. Among them, there are a couple of ladybugs, whose children are born at this very moment. These are 3 cute kids. Dad and mom teach them to fly, but the children are not doing very well yet. Suddenly, one of the little ladybugs hears someone laughing. This is a harmful fly. She teases the baby and takes him further and further from his family. Other flies join her. The frightened kid crashes into a stone and falls into some hole. Satisfied flies fly away. We see that the ladybug has lost one of her wings and can no longer fly. To escape the rain and the horrors of the night, the baby hides in a box. At dawn, it turns out that the ladybug got there instead of a picnic and is now sitting in a bright box with refined sugar. There are hundreds of insects around that are trying to steal all the delicious cookies, chips, berries, fruits, and even a box of matches from the picnic. A group of black ants is heading to the picnic site. They carry leaves and acorns, but it looks like there is something more interesting there. The main ant approaches the bright box and looks inside. He tries a piece of sugar and is wildly delighted. Ladybug watches him with interest. The ant whistles and his friends immediately throw away their leaves with acorns and rush to the bright box. They grab her and drag her with them. Well, the ladybug also goes on a journey. The ants want to deliver sugar to the anthill and treat their queen. But the road there is very long and difficult. Along the way, the insects drop the box from the cliff and some of the sugar crumbles. The ants collect all the cubes and put them back into the box. The ladybug also flew out of the box during the fall. That's why he's lying on the ground. The ants approach her with interest. They look at the unexpected passenger. The ladybug releases poisonous gas and one of the ants loses consciousness. And this baby knows how to stand up for herself. Suddenly a huge green lizard appears on the rocks. Ants hide in fear behind sugar cubes. At this time, the ladybug hurries into the box and hides inside. The lizard is about to eat one of the ants, but suddenly some noise is heard from the box. It's a ladybug squeaking. Frightened, the lizard immediately runs away and hides between the stones. The ants thank the ladybug for saving them and continue their journey together. They are soon spotted by a squad of red ants. They look at the bright box with interest and decide to take it away. What to do? The enemies are much larger and stronger. The black ant commander offers the red ants 1 sugar cube. However, this is not enough, and they give chase. The black ants are in such a hurry that they fall off the cliff along with a box of sugar, and their enemies are chasing them in a soda can. It turns out to be a real carousel, and the box of sugar and the jar fall lower and lower, and finally end up in a mountain stream. The chase continues even on the water. The black ants tilt the box of sugar and deftly maneuver between the stones. However, the red ants in the soda can still catch up with them and ram them. A ladybug falls into the water and a predatory fish immediately begins to hunt it. Our baby is about to fall into her mouth. At the last moment, the little hero manages to dodge her. Black ants connect to each other like a rope and descend into the water after their comrade. They manage to grab the baby and lift him back onto the box, but there is a huge waterfall ahead. What to do? All the ants urgently crawl inside the box and prepare to fly. Following them, a huge fish and a jar of red ants fall. By the way, they were less fortunate. The jar has sunk to the bottom and these insects have to leave their ship to avoid drowning, but they are determined to continue the chase. A box of sugar runs aground and gets stuck between rocks. The ants drag all the sugars ashore and continue on their way without the bright box. One of the ants himself drags as many as 6 cubes. What a strong man! The ladybug is distracted by some noise and sees many different insects in the clearing. It seems that among them are her mother, father, brothers, and sisters. Our little hero wants to fly to them. but his wing has not yet grown, and he immediately falls down. The family flies away without him. Our ladybug returns to her new friends. At this time, the red ants find a sugar box in the stream, take the trail, and again chase the black ants. Evening is coming. The ants make rest stops and build mounds of sugar around it to protect it. But during the day they were so tired that they fell asleep sweetly, and only the ant commander and the ladybug climbed the rock and monitored the situation. While admiring the huge moon, an ant tries to teach his new friend ant language, but he's not doing very well yet. Morning comes. Red ants wake up first. They sniff and pick up the trail again. At this time, the black ants continue their path to the anthill. Ladybug notices the chase and warns the ant commander about the danger. They are about to be caught up. At this time, another test awaits our heroes. They need to cross the road along which cars drive. The red ants get scared and run away in different directions, but the black ants heroically continue on their way. They almost fall under the wheels of a yellow car. The car literally passes over them. It's good that they are so small. And finally, an anthill is visible ahead. The ants take the sugar inside and invite the ladybug to visit them. The anthill itself is full of life, and everyone has their own job. Some of the ants are even dragging a huge apple with a caterpillar. Others have acorns, berries, leaves. They all bring their spoils to the queen, and she nods her head approvingly. One of our ants appears with a sugar cube. The queen and her children look at the gift in surprise. Then he eats a piece and becomes so delighted that he immediately lays a whole mountain of eggs. At this time, the red ants are furious with anger. They gather a whole army of ants and tell their queen about the sugar cubes. She demands her soldiers to go on the attack. Millions of red ants hit the road. Evening is coming. The black ants let in their last soldier and close the anthill. At night, our little hero notices that his broken wing has grown back. Now he can fly again. The ants wake up from some noise. They look out of the anthill and see that they are surrounded by enemies on all sides. There are an incredible number of them. Red ants make slingshots and throw stones, chestnuts, and even toothpicks into the anthill. Because of this, large holes appear in it. The black ants respond by dropping cotton swabs on their enemies, tablets that immediately begin to hiss and for some reason sprinkle salt on their opponents. One of the shells pierces right through the anthill, and they realize that they may not survive this battle. The Queen of Ants gathers a council, after which our heroes go to the warehouse in search of suitable weapons. There is a whole mountain of firecrackers made from matchboxes. At this time, red ants use the cone as a battering ram to knock down the gate of the anthill. Black ants open a matchbox, but there is only one match. This is too little. The ant commander pulls it out and sets it on fire. Then he lights the fuse of one of the firecrackers. It flies into the sky, makes several pirouettes, lands right in a crowd of red ants, and explodes. Alas, there are no more matches, and the enemies continue the attack, launching new shells and knocking down the doors to the anthill. Our heroes are in a panic, and then Ladybug remembers that she saw a matchbox at a picnic. Maybe he's still there. The ants are making an airplane for her from a banknote. The ladybug is sent flying. Red ants try to poison her with insect repellent, but she manages to avoid getting caught in a cloud of toxic smoke. When the plane crashes, the ladybug continues its journey on its own. She can do it. She flies over a mountain stream, a flower meadow, and rocks where a lizard lives. He drinks berry juice, rests on mushrooms, and finally returns to the picnic site. Luckily, the matchboxes are still there. Our hero tries to lift it, but it's too difficult. What to do? Suddenly a small spider appears and steals a box of matches. Ladybug follows him at night. A spider with matches falls into some kind of pipe. Ladybug is very scared, but she still follows him. The spider brings matches into his house. Ladybug sneaks inside and sees that he is making a web with matches. At this time, some monster looks in the window. He grabs the ladybug with his tentacles and drags her somewhere. Our little hero grabs the window frame, but this is not a monster, but a huge frog, and these are not tentacles, but its long tongue. The frog overturns the spider's house, and the ladybug manages to free herself. Losing consciousness, she again remembers her family. Ladybug comes to her senses on the bed of that same spider. He plays for her on a wind-up organ and then gives her a huge juicy cherry. The ladybug eats it and squeaks gratefully. She tells the spider a story about ants and he allows her to take the matches. The ladybug flies off with her precious cargo. She climbs out of the pipe and flies through a forest clearing. Suddenly, our little hero hears someone laughing. These are the same harmful flies. They are already teasing a new victim. Ladybug throws away the matches and heads towards her offenders. She releases a stream of poisonous gas at one of the flies, and then has a real race with them, which causes harmful flies to crash to the ground. This is such sweet revenge. After this, our little hero meets another ladybug on a mushroom and kisses her. He finds a matchbox in the grass and flies to the anthill. It is almost destroyed, but then our ladybug appears with matches. The ants immediately ignite the projectiles and attack their enemies. The real fireworks begin. The red ants retreat in panic. Our heroes are happy. They won. True, you will have to rebuild the anthill. But most importantly, the queen and the children are safe, and the fire they started here is being put out by a rescue plane. After some time, our ladybug already has her own children, as many as 5. They fly around the flower meadow along with other insects and enjoy life. Well, the black ants are rebuilding their anthill. Now she and Ladybug are best friends. Do you think ants can take over the world? Like and share your opinion.